he's talking about all superstitions. He's talking about all superstitions. Now you talk about this kind of illiterate.
Can we sit down, please?
First time you were standing on top of it. Sit. So coming to this, the bias of the society at that particular time, society was.
Worry about her. The teachers were trying to worry about her. Next page.
Can you come down to this?
Yes.
At that particular time, girls were not educated. That's why the mother reacted like that. That is the upbringing of the mother, because in those society, girls were not educated, women were not supposed to send to school. They are supposed to look after the house, get married, and look after, have babies. Pati Parmeshwar hai. All that nonsense. But that is how the women were brought up. So if you are not taught anything different, you accept that's the way of life. You understand? That's why I said you cannot, what you commented is not possible. Because that person has been brought up like that. Like boys were brought up like this. They are the head of the family. They were thought they were head of the family. They are the ones who have to be the bread earner.
In general, boys.
As I said, society at that point, they are supposed to be the bread earner. Whether they are, whatever they did was like, they can do anything and they will never be blamed, but the woman will be blamed. That talks about the typical patriarchal society. And sometimes your friends also, these friends, I'm not talking about these friends also talk like that.
No ma'am.
You are the one who sounds.
Ma'am, you should take some exceptions. Yes.
There are exceptions. There are exceptions. As I said, there are exceptions. I'm not disagreeing, but sometimes
they want to go through it.
Sometimes you're
Bengali.
There are times when you all also speak. There are comments you don't realize. Your comments at times
Double backhanded. Like
it's a backhanded compliment which they give, which can be borderline insulting.
And we are always respectful.
Yes, I can see that. Alright, so the thing was Ramnath he didn't have courage to go against the Tehsildar. Understood? Because his hands were forced. That is, if it was in the hand of Ramnath would have not sent Holi to school.
yes.
You need to understand that. Because at those times, girls' education was not propagated. They were not allowed to be educated. So he couldn't go against the Tehsildar. Tehsildar was the head of this one district. So he couldn't go against the Tehsildar. So, he didn't have the courage to disobey the Tehsildar. So at last his wife said that I will tell you what to do. Send Holi to school, as it is there little chance of her getting married. So because she can't get married, let her be educated. That turned out to be a plan. You can't sit straight, so you don't sit here now. And then you say I'm respectful, ma'am. Behaving like that is also showing disrespect, by the way.
Sorry.
I'm teaching and you're fidgeting. That is also disrespect. Somewhere or the other, as I said, learn to see what your body language says. You don't have to sit like this.
No, I think the posture is very bad.
Your posture is bad, but you don't have to sit like a stiff one. Relax your shoulders, keep your shoulders stiff. Don't do slouching. Take your support of the table. Not like you're not a robot.
Yes.
Relax and sit so that your shoulders doesn't pain, but your body's backbone is straight. So coming to that, her ugly face, and look at the mother. The mother is calling her daughter ugly. Now look at this. Little chance of her getting married, and her ugly face and lack of sense let the teacher worry about her. As a mother who's supposed to be loving, who's supposed to be caring, who's supposed to be supporting, who's supposed to be always there for her children, she herself is saying that my daughter is stupid, my daughter cannot get married to anybody, and my daughter is not worth my attention. You send her to the school.
Bad parenting 101.
So the next day, Ramnath caught Boli by hand and said, "Come with me, I will take you to school." Boli was frightened because her father had never caught her hand and never taken her anywhere. So first of all, she she's always got negativity from all the sides. So like from her parents, from the children, everywhere. So that was a frightening experience when the father caught her hand and is taking her somewhere. So she doesn't have any idea where she's going. Understood? So she's very, very scared. As a child, imagine the child's plight, how scared and terrified the child is. She did not know what a school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house and sold. So she thought that like her father
was going to sell her.
yes, that was exactly what she thought that her father was
Take the phone
no,
if it's an emergency.
no.
You can.
That is my discretion, isn't it?
You know, I'm just.
It is my discretion, right? So you know what a school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out and so. So that was very scary for her because her father was taking her by the hand the same way Lakshmi was being led out of the house to be sold. So she was like, no, 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 no. She shouted in terror, pulled her hand away from her father's leg. So she doesn't understand that he's taking her to school because he doesn't tell her that he's taking her to school. And she thought that, like, my parents already don't like me, now they want to sell me also. So that is a perception of the child, the way the child thought. And what is the matter with you? This fool, he said, I'm only taking you to school. And the father is not being gentle with her, he's criticizing her, he's openly calling her a fool. Imagine when your parents call you a fool like that on your face, how does it feel? You you argue fine, you answer back, but imagine that your parents never cared for you and like you never called you all abusive names. So what kind of mental state you are in? So this child, she says
Not
like
that emotional.
emotionally you don't have any kind of support and you're emotionally traumatized.
Forever.
Forever. Actually, you're traumatized forever. You become so insecure in life that you are literally don't have any self-confidence in yourself.
And
Yes. And what's the matter with you, you fool? That's why I shouted. I'm only taking you to school. Then he told his wife, let her wear some decent clothes today. Up till now, she didn't have neglected to the core where she never had new clothes. Even in festival time, she never had new clothes. Other children had, she didn't have.
and their parents were not giving.
Sorry?
Her parents were not giving.
What did he say?
hand me down मिलता रहेगा गरीब है कष्ट की है
Like that.
her parents were not giving them clothes.
No, the parent would never buy anything for her. That's why she.
Other children they were buying.
Other children they would get clothes, but she would never get clothes. So that's what the father said. Let's buy her something decent because she's going to school.
And yet she decides to take care of them.
Let her wear something decent clothes today, or else what will the teachers in the other schools think of us when they see her? It was not they didn't buy clothes because she has to look okay, decent. They want what they will think about us as a parent.
Bad parents.
The reason why they bought clothes is they wanted to leave a good impression on others that they were that kind of parents who gave their children everything. But it was the other way around. They never gave her. This was the first time they gave her decent clothes.
And there's just quote that I read that all children deserve parents, but not all parents deserve children.
Yes,
So like that.
correct. New clothes had never been made for Goli. The old tradition of her sisters were passed on to her. No one cared or made to mend. Mend is to
Iron.
mend is to stitch. If the clothes were torn, her sister's clothes were torn, they were stitched and given to her. Mend or wash her clothes. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes. If her clothes were torn, nobody would stitch or wash her clothes. As a child, she was expected to do that. To wash her own clothes and to stitch her own clothes. But today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted champa. So she was lucky Even the hand-me-downs was like the girls have worn it, and then now this dress of Champa, it had shrunk down. You know what it got a shrunk
After washing the
after washing, yeah, become smaller and it shrunk down. And this was the first time she got a clean dress, and she was even bathed. She was never given a bath. So just because they're taking her to school, they're giving her a bath. Oil was rubbed in her dry and matted hair. Matted is all entangled hair. So first time the mother is putting oil on her head. Only then she begins to believe that she was being taken to a place better than a home. So when all this process was happening, then she started believing, okay, I'm being taken somewhere good. Because this is the first time she received pampering in that way. And it's called pampering because she had never ever received this kind of help from a mother or care from a mother.
What about her brother?
They didn't care about her. Everywhere it was, she was neglected.
Because if her parents neglected her, the children not the same they are neglected.
And that's when they reached the school, the children were already in their classrooms. Ramlal handed over his daughter to the headmistress. You know who the headmistress, right? The principal of the school.
No, Isha. Headmistress, they know the principal. Yes.
Headmistress is the principal of the school.
No,
In
Band is a headmistress.
You all have a headmistress?
No, like, yeah.
Do you have a headmistress?
Yes.
Principal means headmistress.
We have a vice
principal.
You don't have headmistress means principal.
No.
I'll give you one. Asta, I'm telling you headmistress means principal.
That's interesting.
अरे मैम से पढ़ा दी है ना.
But then the honest truth to be as a name. There was like no principal, there was
Let's see the definition of headmistress.
Headmistress for say a woman who is the head teacher, not the principal. Principal is the head.
Principal is the head teacher.
A woman who is the head teacher in the class.
Headmistress
But
is the
principal
of the
is
school.
not a teacher, na ma'am.
Head teachers means she's above all the teachers. So that is the principal's position. Why are you? Please read.
A headmistress is a
But now also the thing that the principal is vice principal, then under the vice principal there was a headmistress.
That the naming convention must be wrong because a headmistress is a female principal of a
कौन से
school,
school में?
particularly a private school.
There is Dubai one.
अरे ये नाम क्या है?
Yeah.
नाम क्या
Dubai
था?
one is
School का JSS private school.
क्या?
JSS private school.
the naming convention is wrong. But a headmistress is the
And
principal.
what was the difference between headmistress and supervisor?
Supervisor is below the headmistress, principal of the school, and the supervisor looks after supervises the whole running of the school, of the various classes in it.
Below that,
Teacher.
teachers or below that also. Teacher है ना?
Below that is
Head
coordinators.
Supervisor.
Below that is the coordinators.
अब coordinator हम लोग की आशा में से.
After the coordinator, there are
आशा में
teachers.
सर आशा coordinator.
Wait, Asa, we are moving away from the topic. Come to this. Left alone, the girl looked around with tear-laden eyes because she didn't know where to go. She's been left with a stranger. Correct? She's been left with a stranger. She doesn't know where to go. Again, this one. Tear-laden eyes are full of tear. Okay? There were several rooms, and each room girls like her squatted on the mats, reading from books or writing or on slates. So they was like it was a disparate system. So they didn't have benches and chairs, so they would sit on the floor. Understood? And they would sit on a mat, and each had a book or writing on a slate. They didn't have even notebooks like that. In olden days system, they didn't have notebooks. They have slates with chalks. The headmistress asked Boli to sit down in the corner of one of the classroom. So the headmistress took her and said, sit in one of the classroom. Boli did not know what exactly was what happened. Boli did not know what exactly a school was like and what happened there. Because there's a Hindi class, she must have, because your classes keep on exchanging.
Because Thursday Hindi class is there.
Yeah, so that side it is, now this side. Boli did not know what exactly school was like and what happened there. She never been to school, she doesn't know how the working of the school is, and she was like totally at sea. When she didn't understand what was happening. Totally at sea is the phrase is when you don't understand anything. Okay, so that. And like for example, if you go to a foreign university or you go to any university and you don't know the layout of the university, you are totally at sea. But it's a phrase used when you are totally lost, totally at sea. SEAC, as in you're totally lost. You do not know what is happening. Got it? Like as I said, if you go to a university which you don't know the layout of the university, you don't know which department, where your classroom is, where exactly.
Especially with the campus in the
Yes. So she did not know like what will happen there, but she was glad to find so many girls almost her age present there. So like she could find that her age group was there, and she hoped that one of these girls might become a friend. Somewhere she's seeking for that acceptance. Understood? She's seeking for some kind of support. Right? She thought like one of those girls who look like her age, somebody would like become a friend. And that kind of support it is. The lady teacher who was in the class was saying something to the girls, but Molly couldn't understand nothing. First day of school. So what was the teacher speaking? She couldn't understand anything because she never been to school and she didn't know what to do, what to expect. And when the teacher was speaking, also she didn't understand. She looked at the pictures of the wall. So she's looking around at the pictures of the wall because when there's a language barrier. Understood. For example, if the teacher is speaking, like if you see when you were nursery and teacher would speak in English, you would, and especially your mother tongue, maybe Marathi or maybe Hindi or maybe Gujarati or maybe Bengali, anyone. As I said, but when you learn first time when you go to a nursery class, the teacher is speaking, and your parents have purely spoke to you. If you imagine your parents have purely spoke in Bengali to you when you were born to now. And first day you're going to school, so you will not understand what the teacher is trying to communicate, right? So that is how exactly the situation of Boli was. That's what I'm saying. You picked up language through your friends. You may have not learned. You picked up through your friends. Your teachers wouldn't have spoken. If your Hindi teacher will speak in Hindi, but most of the Hindi you picked up from your surroundings and your neighbors and your friends. You picked up language that way because you heard it and you understood what they're trying to say.
When my sister was really small, she's 5 years old now, we only she talking English. That means she didn't know Hindi, she didn't know Kannada, she didn't know anything. So when we sent her to school, she grew up watching Peppa Pig and all those shows. So she had a slight British accent. So when she went to the school, all her friends were talking Hindi, Marathi, and English. She didn't understand anything. And because nobody at home, and my mom used to talk in Hindi, but then she mostly used to pick up on Hindi at school. So now you have to listen to her talk. She's forgotten English almost. She talks English very weird with that weird accent. And Hindi is like, मैंने जो बोला था ना करने and all of that. And now she goes to the English medium school. She doesn't pick up English. She picks up Marathi.
That's what I'm saying. Friends have a more, friends and neighborhood have a more, like they have more influence on the child language. So for now, what I'm saying, imagine her this one. She doesn't understand it. She's looking at the class. When it happens with you also. When a teacher's teaching physics, your brain doesn't accept it, and you're looking everywhere under the sun except for what she's trying to explain. AP. So the colors fascinated her. So she saw the colors and it fascinated her. Different types of colors were there. It fascinated her. The horse was brown like the horse on which the Tehsildar had come to visit their village. So she's associating colors with what was happening around the village. So she saw this horse. These are the pictures drawn in the school. Okay, on the walls. So she saw this horse and she said, this was the horse, this kind of horse the Tehsildar came on. So that association, picture association. And then the goat was black like the goat of their neighbor. So this goat also she saw and said, oh, this goat was like this goat of the neighbor. It was black in color. And the parrot was green like the parrot she had seen in the mango orchard. You know what is an orchard, right? Where fruit trees are grown. Orchard is where the fruit trees are grown. Okay, not farming. It cannot farm.
Only means fruit types of trees.
Yeah, only fruit trees are grown. That is an orchard. Like a vineyards, what you have. Vineyards only grapes are grown, right? Like you have mango orchard where only mango trees will grow. Vineyards are where grapes are grown. The grape
Vineyards or vineyards?
When people say vineyard, what is vineyard?
WINE and VINE.
Yes. Acha, vineyards.
Green grapes.
Alright, coming to this.
Yes.
And the cow was just like their Lakshmi. So the cow picture on the front, she could identify that this cow is like Lakshmi. And suddenly Molly noticed the teacher was standing by her side and smiling at her. First reaction when the child is distracted, the teacher may have scolded her. Teacher may have yelled at her because why are you looking here and there, why are you not paying attention in the class? You have examples in your school. But saying that this teacher, instead of scolding or shouting her, she's smiling at her. So that first instant of connectivity, this is the first connectivity. When people smile at you, you become a receptive thing. You learn, you think that okay, that person is kind-hearted, or maybe she will be accepting. So, what's your name, little one? And she said, go. And she could stammer no further than that. She used to stammer, she can't speak very clearly. So, she tried to say her name. She tried, she made the attempt because she was smiling, she was not scolding her. So, that first feeling, her first attempt to say her name. Then she began to cry, tears flowed from her eyes in that helpless flood. Not even able to pronounce your name, the kind of anxiety and that anguish what the child was feeling, and she starts crying. Because it was a terrible, not even utter her name was such terrible thing. And she kept her head down and she sat in the corner, not daring to look up at the girls who knew were still laughing at her. And as she said that word, the first thing is they start laughing. Like for example, somebody falls in the corridor, the first thing they burst out of laughing. They see. But you don't imagine that the child may have got hurt badly. The child may have that pain must be shooting through the body. When you suddenly fall against especially a flow like this, it literally the pain literally travels through your bone and it literally just.
बच्चे को पुश किया था वो गिर गया ना विराट the like small kids were running after they came to the auditorium, so Virat came to the way and and started crying. He didn't even fall, he just went down on his knees and started crying. He started just crying with us, and Virat was just standing there, and then all the teachers came and started shouting at him.
Definitely.
No, because it wasn't Virat's fault at all. The kid
but he
fell,
but he got hurt on his knees now.
And then he was blaming Virat and Virat.
It's okay.
Ma'am, do you know
So here's this kid, he comes in yes.
Coming to this. And when the school bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classroom. Curry, no? Are you dip and eat, no? Curry, yes. Very good.
Yes.
Yes. It is curried, not curry.
Carried, nice, curried.
Varieties.
When the school bell rang, all the girls curried.
Just curried मतलब
Pop, writing robot.
Not the bell rang.
What does curried means?
What is curried?
That is what is
Why
curried?
they can't hear it?
No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
No. That's what I said. Pop, like that. According to him, like walking like a robot.
Well, just some
Yeah, smart Alex. Sit straight. Read the sentence. All the girls scurried out of the classroom.
Varieties. But Boli did not.
And only the sentence. All the girls, when the school bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classroom.
All the girls
How
scattered
did
out,
they move?
scattered out.
How did they move?
Like this.
Actually, those.
Yes.
Very good tree.
So,
I like this.
like
Walk,
this,
walk,
like
walk.
this.
Like that.
Like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got the bopper. I got the.
And take that away, I'm telling you. I will not return it back. I will not return it back.
That means they walk in a short and quick steps.
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया.
Ah,
Yes, ma'am. Short
I
and
will
quick
take
step.
it and I will not return it.
Otherwise,
Ma'am, what is that?
Mobile.
Why
Ah,
did
so
that
now I was saying that only.
Have you seen a rat move?
Yes.
Have you seen a rat move? How does a rat move? Very slowly it moves.
Oh, very fast.
Very fast. It is taking the derivative from there. Scurried is actually when you are moving very, very fast. And you need to understand that when the bell rang, this girl scurried out of the classroom. Is very quick movements out of the
They
classroom.
ran out when we ran away from class.
Yes, ma'am.
So scurry means that. But Holly dared not leave her corner, her head still lowered, she kept on sobbing. So when she didn't understand how the school works, she doesn't know that when the bell rings, you're supposed to go out of the classroom. She's still sitting in the corner, still she's crying. Holly, the teacher's voice so soft and soothing. Her mother even have never spoken to her like that. Soothing is very calming. You know, when you have a very calming effect, that is called soothing. Remember when you put up, like when you get hurt and you put the painkiller over that, this is how it
When I'm hungry and eat a lot of chips.
that is not soothing.
You're something with your stomach.
No.
When you eat garam Maggi.
कच्चा मैगी.
When you
कच्चा मैगी अच्छा होता है.
it is when it's basically soothing will be when you have a cold, severe cold, and you are making hot soup.
Yes.
So that soothes your throat. That soothes your throat.
Yes.
That is soothing. Okay.
कच्चा मैगी अच्छा होता है. उसके
Take
पहले
all
पहले
her
मसाला
time.
चाट और फिर कच्चा मैगी.
I will not complete this. Your portion will not go. I am telling you, this will not be complete. Your portion will not get over. In all her life, she had never been called like that. It touched her heart. So the tone of a teacher was so calming and so soothing because neither her parents had said her, neither brother, sister had said, neither her friends had said. You know that kind of tone. The first time she is understanding an affectionate tone, a loving tone. So the first time, get up, said the teacher. It was not a command, just a friendly suggestion, and Holly got up. You know, see when I say get up, tone in a very angry tone. Get up, child. It's a very soft tone. So understood? That is the difference between speaking. That's why I say sometimes when you speak, it sounds very harsh to the ears. Okay, so this is what the tone she was using, as in a very soft and soothing tone where the child feels that kind of love from her.
Our class teacher is very good.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So
Can't get up.
it was not a
Man, our class teacher is very
We all love
soft,
PPE.
soothing.
Now everyone loves
Soothing.
soothing.
Yes, ma'am.
now tell me your name. So
Asta.
Big fan, Sumitra.
sweat broke over her whole body. Why was she sweating?
Anxious.
Anxious and
Scared.
scared. She's sweating, she's become very nervous because she can't utter her name. First time she tried to utter, it was a disaster. And the second time the teacher's asking. Again, she started perspiring because she doesn't know how to answer. And without put her stammering so
निकल ले तू क्लास से.
would her stammering tongue again disgrace her? So she's scared, again being embarrassed of not saying her name properly. She'll stammer. For the sake of this kind woman, however, she decided to make an effort. So because this one asked her again in such a tone, because she never in her life experienced that kind of tone, she said, let me try again. She had such a soothing voice, she would not laugh at her. And she knows that this kind of person will not laugh at my mistake. This kind of person will be accepting her to my mistake. And she said, go. She began to stammer, well done, well done. So instead of scolding her, she said, yes, well done, you're trying. That is what is expected. You're trying. The teacher encouraged her, come on, now the full name. And Third time he said holy. At last she was able to say it and felt relieved as it was a great achievement. Without being criticized the first time she said her name and the teacher appreciated her. So imagine her self-esteem, how proud she was of her achievements. First time in her life she could say her name fully, even though she stammered the first time. And the teacher appreciated her. So that kind of self-esteem which she developed. Well done, the teacher patted her affectionately and said, put the fear out of your heart and you will be able to speak like everyone else. Molly looked up as if to say, really? Because everybody had shut her down, everybody would criticize her, everybody would ignore her, they would neglect her. So this is the first time she experienced, he said, if you try, you can speak without any kind of hesitation or stammering. So first time she felt, oh, I also can do it. Do you think really I can do it? That spark has ignited in herself. Yes, it will be very easy. You just come to school every day. Will you come? So he said, yeah, you come to school every day and you will learn to speak your name. So she asked, will you come? And she nodded, yes, because this is the first person where she felt that affection for her, where nobody gave her that affection. No, say it aloud. So he said, don't shake your head, because she cannot speak clearly. So since the first time. So he said, yes, and then she tried. She tried again. She said, yes, and again, yes. She said that. And Molly herself was astonished that she had been able to say. So the words coming out of her and complete words coming out of her mouth surprised her. Like, okay, I can speak. I will learn to speak clearly. That kind of self-confidence is now coming. She herself is astonished. Didn't I tell you? Now take this book. So the teacher again encouraged her. She said, every effort what she's making, she's appreciating her. Nobody had taken that effort with her. Every effort she's taking, the teacher's appreciating. She says, now, didn't I tell you can do it? Didn't I say that you can do it? So like that, that is also encouraging. So he said, now take this book. The book was full of nice pictures and the pictures were in color. Dog, cat, goat, horse, parrot, tiger and a cow just like Lakshmi. So this starting class, so she had all those alphabets. Remember A, B, C, D you have. So you had pictures of all those things. So that's that. And every picture was a word in big black letters. So basic, your primer, the initial primer is what you get, the basic books what you get. So that, and each picture had a word. So he said, in 1 month you will be able to read this book. And then I will give you a bigger book. Then a still bigger one. In time you will be more learned than anyone else in the village. And then no one will ever be able to laugh at you. People will listen to you with respect and you will be able to speak without the slightest stammer. Understand? Now go home and come back early tomorrow morning. So first thing he says, you will start learning and with learning you will gain respect and with that respect, people will no longer treat you disrespectfully. Understood? No longer treat you disrespectfully and that is what you require. Why do you pursue your careers? Why do you pursue? Because somewhere or the other you're building respect for yourself. You're building up a reputation for yourself. It is in your hand to make what you want the others to think of you. So that's why I said when you're speaking and when you're saying and when you're behaving the way you're behaving, you are being seen by many people and you make your own reputation. It's always in your hand. So she's giving her that encouraging word. She said, you will be respected by everybody in the village. You'll be the most learned person. And everybody give her that, remember, they neglected her completely. Molly felt as if suddenly all the bells in the temples were ringing and the trees in front of the house had blossomed into red flowers. So imagine this is like as a whole world is open for her. That kind of joy she felt that way. And her heart was throbbing with a new hope and a new life. She's looking forward to something in her life where she never ever got from anyone. So now she's looking forward to that. Thus the years passed. The village became a small town, and the little primary school became a high school. There were now a cinema under the tin shed and a cotton ginning mill. The mail train began to stop at the railway station. So the village became a town as in it became developed. Yeah, it became developed. And there was a cinema hall, there was a train station, trains used to stop in that particular place that way. One night after dinner, Ramdas said to his wife, then shall I accept December's proposal? So he said, this person has sent a proposal, should I accept it? Yes, certainly. And I say again, the parents are still maintaining that. Yes, certainly. She said, Goli will be lucky to get such a well-to-do bridegroom. A big shop, a house of his own, and a year several thousand in the bank. Moreover, he's not asking for any dowry. So he said, this is this one. But negative points are not there right now. So this one. But right, the father says, but he's not young, almost the same age as I am.
Gee,
And he also limps. That means limps, how is it?
50 is my right.
Moreover, the children from his first wife are quite grown up. So he has grown up children. He is as old as December. And it's not child marriage. Only has grown to a marriageable age. So it's not child marriage. Marriageable age may be 18. Marriageable age is 18 as well. And this chap is, this person December is maybe 50. Alright, so his children are as old as maybe this Goli. But she said, he's a well-to-do, he's wealthy family, he's not asking a dowry, he has thousands in the bank. So let's get her married. Like as if she's a property to be picked up and thrown into somebody else. They don't care who that person is.
Ma'am, this wasn't just the case in her house, it was a worldwide problem back then, right?
Yes. So what does it matter? She replied, 45 or 50, it's no great age for a man. Mother saying that.
Father is still a bit more sensitive.
Yeah, father still a little bit concerned. Mother doesn't care. So he said, it's not a great age for a man. We are lucky he's from another village and does not know of her pockmarks and her lack of sense. So she doesn't know that she's foolish and she has pockmarks on her body. If we don't accept this proposal, she will remain unmarried all her life. So if she don't have, no other proposal will come and she will remain single. And in those days, unmarried girls were looked down upon by the society.
Literally everyone.
Yes. Yes, but I wonder what Goli will say. What will that witless one say? She is like a dumb cow. So like how a cow is led from one place to another, she said Goli is like that. She used a metaphor. This is a simile. Like a cow means.
Her mother is saying.
Yes, her mother is saying that she's like a dumb cow. You have like she'll not open her mouth and she'll this one like how the cow can be led, like that she also can be led. So let's get her married. And then because father is still wondering what will Bholi say. Let's tell her about the proposal. But the mother said, she's like a dumb cow. Why do you want to ask her? And maybe you are right, said Ramlal. And Ramlal is a typical husband who listens to his wife. He said, maybe you must be right. Let's. In another corner of the courtyard, Bholi lay awake on her cot listening to her parents' whispered conversation. And she could hear her parents talking about her.
But she could understand it now.
She could understand it. She's learned, right? She's educated. Because the primary school turned up to be turned into a high school, right? So she's educated. So she heard the conversation of her parents. And Visambar Nath was a well-to-do grocer. Grocer, you know what is a grocer?
Grocery.
Yeah, grocery. Not a vegetable vendor. Grocer is grocery is what you get. Okay. And he came with a big party of friends and relations with him for the wedding. So he brought the whole barat, what you say. He brought all that. A brass band playing a popular tune from an Indian film headed the procession. You know how the barat comes, they play the yes. Yeah, very good imitation of that. With the bridegroom riding on a decorated horse. That's how a typical barat would come, right? So like that.
Yes.
Ramlal was overjoyed to see such a pomp and splendor. So Ramlal was very happy. Oh, this is coming in such a
Splendor.
Yeah.
Splendor Gadi.
Not splendor, Gadi, as in a magnificent show.
Oh,
People are splendor on the
bike.
He's riding a horse.
Splendor
Bike
horse.
say
Splendor's great pomp. What you say, na? Big show.
Yes.
He had never dreamt that his fourth daughter would have such a grand wedding. Groom was not asking that time, and he never thought, the daughter will get such a grand husband like that, who's very rich, okay, that way, because he's coming with a big procession, right? Boli's elder sister, who had come for the occasion, was envious of her luck. Envious?
Yes.
Jealous.
Jealous. Yes, jealous.
These two characters, they don't know.
Who told I do
Jealous.
Who told? You did what you did.
Ma'am, that was
Scurried. That was scurried for the mobile.
Ma'am, that was long back ago.
Long back ago, I have
First and
an
last.
elephant's memory. I don't forget.
Ma'am, first and last.
Elephant memory.
First and
हाँ,
last.
elephants don't
बहुत
forget.
अच्छा memory. Like देखो पता है there's this thing कि अगर तुम बचपन में जब elephant बहुत छोटा है and उसे एक rope से tie करोगे और एक बड़े tree के उधर tie करोगे तो तब वो struggle करेगा ट्री को तोड़ने के लिए escape करने के लिए but फिर उसके memory में आता है कि tree मेरे से strong है तो even अगर वो full grown हो जाएगा और उसे तीसरे tie करेगा ना तो tree को तोड़ने को कोशिश ही नहीं करेगा because उसके memory में ऐसा है कि वो tree को तोड़ ही नहीं सकता because even though capable है वो कुछ
Alright, so that's what. So she was very jealous of her luck. Boli?
Yes.
Yes, I said. When the auspicious moment, auspicious is
Festival. A ritual day.
Auspicious.
Important.
Auspicious.
Diwali.
Special.
Diwali festival.
Special moment. अच्छे से बात. Special moment. Auspicious is special moment.
I know the meanings, ma'am, but I can't explain it.
Yeah. Like for
Same,
example,
same.
when you're getting married, you have a they take out a muhurat, what you say,
Yes, Muhurat.
that is called an auspicious moment. Understood? Auspicious time. Like this during this time to this time that marriage should have happened. So that is called. So auspicious here means special. So your special moment came. The priest bring the bride. Boli clad in a red silken bridal dress was led to the bride's place with near the sacred flower. Garland the bride, Varmala, what you say? Garland the bride, one of her friends promising. Yeah, that is how they exchange, right? You exchange the garlands. Garlands is the flowers what you put around each other's neck.
Why we do that?
Please ask.
शादी का कर
परंपरा
शादी कर ले छाता मार दूंगा.
Garland the bride, one of his friends prompted Shambhanath. So he said, put the garland, the bride is put the garland around her neck.
क्या बोल रहा है?
I will not finish this chapter. It is a long chapter.
8 minutes बचे.
And he says, garland the bride and like put the garland around the neck. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigolds. Genda, what you have? Yellow marigolds are that. A woman slipped back the silken veil from the bride's face. So the bride's face was covered, right, with the red, that ghungat, what you say. And when he put he slipped the garland back. Visamba took a quick glance. The garland remained poised in his hands. Poised it. But I just get out here. Please. You want to chit chat? Go out of the class and chit chat. He saw the face and it's like, it literally he stopped. He was poised, it literally he stopped. And this one. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face because her face was hidden before that. And when, he went to put the garland, the veil lifted. So, and she put down the veil. Have you seen her? Said someone to his friend next to him. She has pock marks on her face. And she has marks on her face. So he says, so what? You are not young either. The friend said, yeah, so what? If she has pock marks, yeah. You also not young. Maybe, but if I have to marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. So the condition is this: if I want to get married to this type of girl, give me 5,000 rupees. So he said, Ramlal went and placed his turban. It's a mark of respect to wear a turban. He took out the turban and he said he put it on his feet and said, please marry my daughter because it will be absolutely wrong. At December's feet, do not humiliate me. Humiliate is basically we don't insult me. Humiliate is insult. So insult me. Take 2,000 rupees. Right? 2,000 rupees you take. He says no, 5,000 or we go back. Keep your daughter. And in those days, taking the barat back was considered to be very disrespectful. So be a little considerate, please. If you go back, I can never show my face in the village. So then I can never show my face. So don't do that. Then out with the 5,000. He said that you give me 5,000. The tears streaming down his bent and opened the safe and counted out the notes. He placed the bundle on the bride's groom feast. So in those days, the father of the bride had to bend down before the groom. That was the case scenario. And he took out and he gave. Do you have another this? You all have a book, a textbook?
No, ma'am.
You all should carry your book now.
Crazy.
रियलिस्टिक लग रहा है
इतना लैग ही है हाँ बहुत लैग हो रहा है
Crazy real है
Crazy.
Crazy
इसी सपोर्टिंग क्या हो रहा है
क्या कौन कर रहा है
वो फ्लूट कितना अच्छा बजा रहा है
हाँ
Ma'am, yesterday you came in my dream.
I'm wanting a dream.
No, nothing.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
on the second.
Ma'am, I went swimming and then you were there and then you started shouting at me. So then I went home and I started studying.
Seriously.
Really, ma'am. HD PDF. Download PDF.
डिफरेंस क्या लिख रहा है HD
HD मतलब
HD
Okay. And you place the bundle this one and
yes
and then on December's greedy face appeared a triumphant, victorious victory. He won, right? Because the father gave him 5,000 rupees. So he had this victorious smile on his face. He had gambled and won. So he gambled, that means he took a chance and he won. Give me the garland, he announced. Once again, the veil was slipped back from the bride's face, but this time her eyes were not downcast. So you know how the brides, they appear, they're very shy, they keep their eyes down and they walk. This time her eyes were not downcast, she was glaring at him. She was looking up, looking straight at her prospective husband. In her eyes, there was neither anger nor hate, but only cold contempt. Contempt is hatred. Alright,
what is prospective?
Prospective is the future husband. You're going to marry the person like that. So she said, December, raise the garland.
मेरे घर पे भी बचता है मैंने खरीदा मजा नहीं आता तो फिर वो जो मूड था मैं खा गई
उसका भी चबाता था
उसका कलर लगा रहता है ना पर्पल सा
क्या
रवि खा देते
और सामने
खराब हो गया पर वो इधर से बजाते वो जगह
बजाने के
अरे वो ऐसे लोग बताते लेकिन ऐसा बताना चाहिए
मेरा वाला ऐसा था
मेरा भी
वो होगा ना वो क्या होता है वो पुंगी
पुंगी था वो ये फ्लूटी था पर वो
लूटी था
बना है अरे फ्लूट
लूटी था पर वो सीधा वाला था ऐसा
बजाने से ज्यादा तो मतलब क्या बोल रहे हैं ये
मैं समझ गई that's not
बैड ह्यूमर
तो बड़ा सा
So, give me this
black humor
and like she had whole contempt. December raised the garland to place it around the bride's neck, but before he could do it, Boli's hand struck like a streak of lightning. Literally, she gave him one tight slap.
wow
And
crazy
the garland did not slap. She took the garland. She was going to garland her. She took the garland and she threw it into the fire. Okay, she snatched the garland and threw it into the fire. She got up and threw away her veil. So then, ultimately, she rebelled, took out and threw away veil. And he said, Pitaji, said Boli in a clear, loud voice. Up till now, she maintained that quiet, this one child in her family. She didn't disrespect her father, neither her mother. So they didn't know that she stopped stammering and she was educated. So she says, Pitaji in a clear, loud voice. Her father, mother, brothers, sisters, relation and neighbors were startled, were shocked, shocked to hear her speak without a slightest stammer. She says, Pitaji, take back your money. I am not going to marry this man. So she stood up for herself because her teacher gave her that confidence in herself, that gave her that self-respect that she will not. Only because she wanted her father not to be. Yeah. Why is this happening?
Let me go to NCRT website now.
Yeah, NCRT went, but that one got stuck now.
Copykitab.com. Copy की स्टोरी कितनी गलत है.
It's okay, that is the name of the. Okay, then she said Ramlal was thunderstruck. Thunderstruck with absolutely shocked. The guests began to whisper, so shameless, so ugly, and so shameless. Now they're criticizing Boli. She said, how dare she open her mouth when her father was talking to that. Patriarchal society, absolutely. Boli, are you crazy? Shouted Ramlal. You want to disgrace your family? Have you no regard for our izzat? He took out the turban and he placed it and said, you don't have any kind of this one respect for us. And he said, for the sake of your izzat, then Boli says, for the sake of your izzat, Boli said, I am willing to marry this lame old man. But I will not have such a mean, greedy, contemptible coward. Contemptible means hate, coward, dislike. As my husband, I won't, and won't. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless, dumb cow. Everybody in the society thought that she was harmless, she's dumb, and she's like a cow, you know, how to be taken away, led by anybody. Boli turned violently to the old woman. Yes, auntie, you're right. You all thought I was dumb, driven cow. That's why you wanted me to hand over to this heartless creature. Now the dumb cow, the stammering fool is speaking. Do you want to hear more? And for first time she's standing up for herself and said, would you like to hear more? She says, December, the grocers started to go back to his party. The confused bagman thought this was the end of the ceremony and started the closing song. He started playing the band again. That means the ceremony and everything. Ramdas stood rooted to the ground and his head bowed low with a weight of grief and shame. He was feeling very sad and he was feeling very ashamed. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died down. Everyone was gone. Ramdas turned to Boli and said, but what about you? No one will ever marry you now. What shall we do? See, as I said, the father was slightly concerned. So he said, what shall we do with you? So what can we do with you? Nobody is now going to marry you because you have disrespected everybody here and nobody would want a girl like you. So, but Sulekha said in a voice that was calm and steady, don't worry, Pitaji. In your old age, I will serve you and mother and I will teach in the same school where I learned so much. Isn't that right, ma'am? The teacher had all along stood in the corner watching the drama. Yes, Boli, of course, she replied, and in a smiling voice with a slight of deep satisfaction that an artist feels when contemplating the completion of a masterpiece. You know how proud the teacher was feeling because Boli stood up for herself and ultimately she gave back to that society what treated her like a dumb cow. Finally, I got this. Clear?
This was one of the best chapters in
Yes. Now please, out.
Right now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
God bless you.